here is the Writer's Almanac for Saturday, October the 3rd, 2020. It was on this day, 1895, Stephen Crane's novel The Red Badge of Courage was published, the story of a Civil War private, Henry Fleming. It's the birthday of Emily Post, born Baltimore, 1873, wrote about etiquette. Emily Post, who said, "Manners are a sensitive awareness of the feelings of others. If you have that awareness, you have good manners, no matter what fork you use." It's the birthday of Harvey Kurtzman, the cartoonist, born in Brooklyn, 1924. He was one of the founders of Mad magazine in 1952. It's the birthday of the man who said 50% of people won't vote and 50% don't read newspapers. I hope it's the same 50%. Gore Vidal, born at West Point, New York in 1925. Best known for his works of historical fiction, Julian, Burr, and Lincoln. And his 1968 novel, Myra Breckenridge, was an international bestseller. And it's the birthday of the novelist Thomas Wolfe, Asheville, North Carolina, 1900. Wanted to be a playwright at first. He wrote, acted in several plays at the University of North Carolina, later at Harvard, moved to New York, taught playwriting at NYU, turned to fiction when he was 26, and wrote what would become his most famous novel, Look Homeward, Angel. Thomas Wolfe, who said, "All things on earth point home in old October. Sailors to sea, travelers to walls and fences, hunters to field and hollow, and the long voice of the hounds, the lover to the love he has forsaken." Here's a poem for today by Maria Mazziotti Gillen. My father was a young man then. Only 16 when he came from Italy, alone, moved into the Riverside neighborhood, full of Italians from Cilento, all of whom spoke the same dialect, so it was as though they'd transported those mountain villages to Patterson. At first, America was terrifying. English, a language they could not master. But my father was a young man then, and he became friends with other young people, and they learned how to take buses and trains or to borrow a car, and off they'd go on the weekend to Rybrook or Coney Island, free from their factory jobs on the weekends, reveling in the strength of their bodies, the laughter and music and the company. My father was a young man then, and even when he died at 92, he never lost the happiness that bubbled up in him, the irrepressible joy of being alive, the love of being with friends. I imagine him at that time, before he married my mother, before we were born, before he had a tumor on his spine that left him with a limp. Imagine him with his broad smile, his booming laugh, his generous spirit, his sharp intelligence. Imagine him as a young man, his head full of dreams, the love of politics and math. The way he carried those qualities all the way into old age, though his legs failed him, though his body grew trembling and frail, his mind never did. When I'd arrive at the house all those years after Mom died, he'd smile at me with real pleasure. The young man he was at 16 would emerge, sit in the room with us, and laugh. A poem by Maria Mazziotti Gillen. My father was a young man then, from her collection What Blooms in Winter, published by NYQ Books and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.